Broadcasting.
Yes, we're
We
should we? Oh, should we be?
I don't
We're
see
not
it.
Oh
broadcasting.
no! Oh
don't see
no! Oh yeah, we are.
That's probably a good thing because I just got the
We
the
are.
link up. Are we? I don't see it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
I see us.
I see a commercial.
We're not.
I
selling-
see us.
We're selling watches.
I
it says
see
live.
us.
Now we're
It says
there.
waiting.
Now
waiting
we're there.
for my-
Yay.
Is
There
it
we
like? Is
Oh,
it?
there we go.
Is it like
hold Turn my
like
volume
buffering, or is it?
It's there now. It's showing now.
Yeah, now we're
I
here.
don't know what the difference is.
We're
but-
here.
I don't either because it showed that it was live. I don't know what happened. I'm sorry.
I'm here. That's why. It's trouble following me with technology.
It's her fault.
It is. I claim it. It's fine.
What-
What's
What's the? Is there a delay? Can
30,
you guys?
You will fit
33
right in
second
if you're up to
delay.
There's a
shenanigans. so-
33-second delay.
Yeah, because I raised my hand and it just popped up.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is a crazy.
There's
I
usually
just
a pretty
saw
good
your
delay.
hand pop up. That is crazy. Oh my. I am sorry, y'all. I don't know what the delay is,
Let's
but
see who else in here.
the big-
There's
The beginning of
Jess
this show
is
was always
here,
brought
Chris
to you
is
by
here.
A.M.O.K.
by A.M.O.K.
yeah.
by A.M.O.K. Broadcasting.
Jess is
Right.
here. Chris is here. Enzo's here. Hey Enzo.
What's up,
Did you
everybody?
know about the search
Alicia.
that, I found?
And now we're
Enzo
here.
blames CERN.
Oh, well,
Oh,
Kristi, our billions of fans are on their way.
yeah, all right.
Yes.
On their way.
30-second
love
delay
it.
is kind of normal
I'm
for
not
YouTube.
used to doing a video podcast because my podcast is like I could be in my pajamas and it's just audio. So I'm like, I could be like eating ice cream on my PJs talking about paranormal stuff. So I'm like, I put on like lipstick for y'all.
Oh,
Well,
thank you.
I'm not wearing any pants.
beautiful.
So I guess no big deal.
Oh, nice,
Oh, Kristi, we
Adrian.
love you.
Nice, thank you. That gives everybody a great visual.
Yeah, you'll have to fax us
Don't
some ice cream.
visualize. Don't visualize anything below here. Come on,
You're the one that
Weird,
said it.
weirdos.
You know how hard it is. I mean, you're gonna sit there and say, "Okay, everybody, don't listen." But Adrian's not wearing pants.
I'm
Now,
not
how many
wearing
people you think are gonna be like, "Oh, mental, no"?
He's wearing shorts. That's all.
Ow, I can hear them.
No,
I have-
he's
we
not gonna
have, like,
describe it to you guys.
There's a 500 million people going, ooh.
Oh,
Yeah, the other ones are
YouTube
going,
streamers never wear pants.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, I
You're
guess
not being
I'm a unique individual. I wear pants.
You and me both. And Enzo does have
Yeah.
a fabulous collection of Hawaiian shirts, I must
You know,
say.
that was amazing what you like predicted exactly what he was going to wear when I met him, and that was awesome.
I knew exactly who he was. Based
Yeah,
on
whenever
your
she said Hawaiian shirt,
description.
I was like, oh, that's
Look for the guy in
Enzo.
the Hawaiian shirt. There he
Hey,
was.
Enzo.
Enzo actually, I believe. Yeah, it was Enzo.
Enzo
Was it
Surreal
Enzo
equals
that
fashion
surprised me in the
icon.
kick chat? I think it was Enzo. I'm gonna have to go back. It was away about a week or two ago, 3 weeks ago, maybe.
What
I
did
don't
you
remember.
do?
Surprised me in one of the Twitch or the kick chat. It's one of those. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. And see.
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe.
Kristi, it's probably going to take us about 10 minutes to get to
I'm
you.
not.
How are you?
We,
I'm hydrating.
Deuce her.
Kidding.
Kristi is gonna be at the Bordertown
Paracon.
I wanted to say Expo. Holy crap! I blame Adrian.
they're close. They're close. Hey, yeah, and I had the date wrong on my calendar, so I had to take another day off.
Oh,
What a
for the
crap.
Paracon?
Well, yeah, what a bummer. I had the weekend off before, thinking that's the date. Kenya's like, no. And it's the thing, and it's never been the date that I took off. I was like, okay, but then never mind. So I just have another day off. I got to go early on Friday
Aw.
because people want to see me.
Yeah,
I'm super
so
excited.
we're
about
gonna be
coming out.
outside.
Christy,
I
this
do-
will be, let me think.
Christy was
this'll
trying
be
to
the third
talk.
Paracon that you've been
My
to.
third
How's that
Paracon.
been? Yeah, that's
Oh.
great.
I may not wear
Nice.
pants there either.
But this year I'll be
Oh.
vending, which is exciting.
Nice.
I'm excited.
Dude, what'd you say, Christy?
This year I'll be doing the quantum out there too.
Yes.
so-
Can you tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about what you do? And
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Kristi Campbell, and I'm a psychic medium and quantum energy healer. I have been legally blind since birth, and so I think that that's why I have extra abilities. Because this crazy world, being blind is so bad is hard enough as it is. So why not be psychic and be a little extra odd? So I've been doing this for over 20 years. And quantum is my newest skill that I picked up. I used to do Reiki. Have y'all ever heard of Reiki?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's-
yes.
Well, we have, but some people in the audience may not have.
So Reiki is a form of healing that heals the body. It's a very relaxing treatment. It's kind of like like an energy massage, if you will. Quantum healing is where you find I do it differently than everybody does quantum differently, but how I do it is, if you have, for example, a backache, we look into that back pain and I find I call energy freckles. And then we go through those energy freckles and we find the piece of trauma that's stuck in your body from whatever part of your life that is there. And it could be like, oh, so-and-so stood me up at the day, I don't know, something, or something as serious as like, I didn't get to say goodbye to my father. Trauma is what is a main correspondent in pain. And so we pull all of that out. We have you acknowledge that you release the pain, we pull it out, and the pain goes away.
Mhm.
It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
It's pretty fascinating. When I
It
asked
is.
her about it, we were on the phone and she was like, "Well, do you mind if I try it on you real quick?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And she
Wow.
pinpointed pain on me on the inside of my knee. And yeah, it did amazing things. I was in quite a bit of pain the 2 days prior to that. And it felt great the next day. And I had been having problems with it for a while. So it was pretty neat.
Now, does your
We pulled
psychic
out, like-
ability help you pinpoint that stuff out?
It does, but it's more so, intuition. It's more so like I can see the trauma. Like with Pam, we pulled out like 3 different pieces of trauma,
Yes.
and I was able to see a snapshot of it in my head. So I'm like, this is the scenario that you were in. And with the psychic ability, I can, it's more so like a clear knowing, but I can also see things, smell things, hear things. I'm also a medium. And so I have people in my ear all the time, like, hey, which is really awkward.
Especially when you're in
I
the
was-
shower. I mean, geez.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's worse in public because I definitely am not like I'm a social person, but I don't like to get into anybody else's space. And so, I went to visit a friend a long time ago in the hospital. We got in the elevator and I was with somebody else and the elevator wouldn't go up. And this man was like, you need to tell my mother that I love her. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I said, okay, but yeah, later. We were in a rush. We were hot. We just got back from Arkansas. We went to like the Dalai Lama speech. It was years ago. And so he's like, I won't let you go until you say you'll do it. And so I said, okay, fine. So then he's like, she's in room 203 or whatever it was. And so then we're like, everyone's like, I don't know why it's not working. It's like everything else is working fine. And so I'm like, try it now. And so they're like, how did that happen? I'm like, I go deal with the spirit. So they went up to go see the person that we were there to see. And I went over to the room and there was the mother laying in bed and she looked at me and she's like, oh, or, do I know you? And I said, no. I said, but I have to tell you something and I'm really sorry. This feels really awkward and uncomfortable to me. But your son stopped me in the elevator and he wouldn't let it move until I came up and told you that he loves you. And she goes, oh, honey, my son is dead. I said, yes, I know. I'm a medium. He said, oh. And I said, yeah. And he said he loves you and that he's sorry that he couldn't be there for you. And she started tearing up and she goes, that's what I needed to hear. Now I can go home. I was
That's
just
amazing.
like, yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
that happens to me all the time and it freaks me out. I'm still a big skeptic, even though I've had this my whole life. But I'm like, what? So skeptical of myself.
That
what
was
is-
an amazing story.
So what is the optic nerve I'm so sorry, I cannot pronounce that. Hypoplasia?
Optic nerve hypoplasia.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what it is that when I was developing my mom's womb, I didn't get enough oxygen. And so my optic nerve couldn't develop to the full size. And so it's it's dwarfed. It's underdeveloped. I can see better on my left eye, but my right eye, it's just like that. Like I can see like the light and dark kind of stuff, but I can't really see faces unless I'm like right here, you know. So so yeah, it's basically that. So
That's about like my hearing. Anytime somebody talks to me, it's like, okay, what? Get in my ear
Girl,
so I can
talk
hear
now,
you.
trust me, I'm good at like
You know what would be interesting sometime would be to maybe, because I know, I'm an amputee. Kristi's legally blind. Shauna, you have
I'm deaf.
yeah, you've got hearing issues. I'm trying to think of the word
Osteoclerosis.
genetic. Yeah,
It's
not
genetic.
Well, it is genetic. That is the word I'm looking for.
Yep.
So, it'd be fun to kind of talk about maybe paranormal and differently abled people. That would be a cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
Adrian's deaf too.
That's true. Okay, Ken, you're the only normal one here. What the
Right?
heck?
Oh, I'm not normal. You guys have met me. I'm not normal. I do have a little bit of hearing problems too.
I don't put Ken in the normal category. I'm sorry.
No, not even close to it, right?
I mean, I thought he was. Then I met him like 5 minutes. I was like, that guy's different. And but
my
that's all
true,
right. I mean,
my
in
real
a good
friends
way.
say, my real friends say I'm totally weird.
Well, I'm really weird, so it would be kind of weird for me to say you're. Well, you know what? No, you're weird.
I think that's why we all get along so well.
I've had spirits curse me out and call me different names. I mean,
have I?
Well, I know you
it's
have.
like
I've
nothing
heard
to be
one.
called a freak.
I've been called an idiot.
Happens a lot too.
Idiot,
I've been called an idiot, a moron, a nitwit.
So
an itch with a B.
I know.
I've been called that too.
Kristi, you said that you've been doing this for about 20 years.
Yeah.
What got you started in it? What made you?
You're psychic, because that was going to be my question.
Are you reading my notes?
When I was a little girl, I could see things, hear things. It started as soon as I was in kindergarten. I could a classmate's uncle died, and I just was talking away, la 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 la, and they're like, "Who is she talking to?" And so I got in trouble for talking a lot because I was talking to dead people. And so, growing up, I've always had it, and I kind of fought it when I was in my early 20s. I worked for corporate America. I worked as a travel agent and did all kinds of interesting things until I was in my mid 20s. And then I was like, you know what? I kept seeing the same pattern. And I kept seeing the same repeat, like, you need to go with what you know. And you need to not be afraid to be who you are. And I'm like, okay. So I started it in Coffeyville. I started working out that way. I started in California. I'm from California originally, but when I moved to Coffeyville, I started doing readings and even in Nowata when I lived out there. And then now I'm in Tulsa, and I've been doing it for a long time. So, and it's awesome. Word of mouth is the best possible selling tool, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. So has your vision impairment, how does that help you or not help you with your quantum healing?
I don't have to be able to see to know it's around me. I've got really, really good hearing, like disgustingly good hearing. So you can have some mind. Seriously. But I can kind of feel the airflow if there's people around me. I can see fairly okay, but it's almost like with paranormal stuff, it's more so like I can walk into a house and not even see anything and just feel like a gut feeling. And that's the same with people. I can tell on an instant if I go on a date that this person's not good for me. I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you. Let's just check, please, and just go, So.
Oh man, I wish I had that ability back about 20 years ago.
Kristi, I got a question. Were you able to see when you were younger? Was it gradual?
No, I was born this way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I will say, once I hit my 40s, I got a little bit worse because we all get more worse vision when we get into our 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my question's kind of related to that. Is do you, I'm guessing you seeing with your third eye, do you
Mhm.
actually have images that you see? Are they, I don't know how I can explain this, but do you,
Yeah.
do you see human forms? Do you, what
Yeah.
what do you envision? Is
Well,
it a
I
good
have
question? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is. So I can read on my phone and stuff. I have enough vision to see things with my third eye. I use what I know that my brain knows, and then my third eye kind of goes in and it fills it in more. So say for example, I'm looking at you. I can't see your face because I'm too far away, but I can see your aura. So I can see that you have an orange aura with purple striations, which tells me that you're a little hungry and a little tired.
Oh, that's a normal life.
There's my
But
dinner
also-
right here.
Yeah.
So you have some stomach issues as well. Your belly's kind of a little upset, and you've got some lower back pain as well.
I think you hit that pretty much on the nose.
She's very good.
Dang.
No, seriously,
Shauna, let's see.
thank you. Oh.
Do
Yeah,
I?
of course. Shauna, let's see. Your aura is light blue with some green speckles and some red, which tells me that you try to keep the peace, but you're fast to anger, but you get over it quickly. Are you a Scorpio?
No.
You got Scorpio energy, which is a good thing. But also you love projects. You like to start new things, and you love history. You love learning about things like that. And you also have some stuff with your neck and shoulders, and the left hip is a little off as well.
Probably because my right leg is a little longer than my left.
That's see, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Only
I'm
a
gonna
little
beg
bit.
you.
I had to wear like little pad things in my boots when I was in the service because
I am gonna bring my tape measure next time we get together. Right on.
you should. It's weird because whenever
That's
I'm
really
sitting there
cool.
balancing on my feet and I actually straighten out my knees, it's like, oh, that is really weird. But
Anyhow,
it happens. There's a lot of people like that. I didn't really realize that either until they were telling me in the service, oh, this is normal. No, it ain't. Maybe for you. Awesome.
So have y'all talked about I was reading an article before I came on about beaver dunes in Oklahoma, like the shaman, what's it called? The shaman, it's called like the portal, shaman's portal.
Oh,
Where
out of this,
have you in the panhandle.
yeah.
Didn't
the
you mention
sand,
something like that, Pam?
yeah. What is it called? It's where all the sand is out there. It's like
It's Beaver, in Beaver, Oklahoma, and it's called Beaver Dunes.
okay.
And they're having people disappear.
Yes.
And they said that it started back with the indigenous people. They would call it evil. They would refuse to go into it and stuff. So the reason why I read the article because I had a friend who drove past it and saw something odd and mentioned it to me and said, "Did you know there's green lightning in Beaver, Oklahoma?" And I said, "No, I did not." So I researched
Green
it.
lightning?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I'm
were
gonna
like
have to make a
moonshine.
trip. Moonshine.
I wanna. Yeah, I'm down. Yep.
That would be
road
fun.
trip.
I think
um,
too. I may have read an article not too long about it as well that was
I
talking about
could
the
have
lightning.
sworn you said something about it. It may
I
have
may
been
have because it was
It-
like where the lightning hits the sand, it turns it to glass, and there's like but you're not
Mhm.
supposed to remove them from the park.
Yeah.
That's in the sand.
You
But they
can't
were
remove the
pictures of
glass
it,
from
so
the park.
you're not supposed to, no.
Why?
It's like
But it does make
the-
it a green color.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle of Oklahoma.
Yes.
Oh wow,
It's
that's
really-
really interesting.
There's like a lot of I can't remember what explorer it was. It's like not Cordoza, but there's like with a C initial. The person who explored Oklahoma a long time ago, he came through with his guides, and they said don't go in there, and he did. And then his men disappeared right in front of him, and yeah, so he wrote about it. So the indigenous people say that they refuse to go. They refuse to go in there. And to this
Jessica's
day-
in chat. She's saying that we did talk about it on the Fringe podcast. That's where
Oh.
I'm remembering it from.
Oh, that's probably where I
Sure.
heard it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kristi, I didn't mean to cut
It
you
was on
off
my
there.
podcast a few days ago. It's awesome.
Yes,
That
yes.
is
We
very
talked about that.
interesting. And that's like on the I guess the armpit of Oklahoma. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Right down
right
there in
there.
your hooker. You know?
Yeah, it's between Texas and Kansas, so it's right there.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Not Kansas, Nebraska. Not
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska. Where is
Wow.
this? Kansas. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I've zoomed out, and the minute I zoomed out, it said Nebraska. So that's what I said. I'm sorry.
Geographically inept.
I am. I mean, I get Alaska and Arkansas mixed up all the time.
I remember the first time that I met Kristi. It was at my house. We had you came up with Ghost from Tulsa,
Yeah.
and it was you and Doc and the other part of the team, and they walked into my house, and I had a two-story. It was a pretty big Dutch colonial, and Kristi walks in, and the first thing she said when I met her was, "Do you know you have two ghosts in your house?" And I was like, "Well, yes, I do." And she proceeded to describe them to a T. And then she said something about there's an issue with water.
You didn't tell
And
me this until years later.
yeah, I did. I just told her like what, maybe last year
Last year.
about this, because I was like, yeah, we are having an issue with the water, and that's all I said. But at the time, we had a lot of rain or something, but our basement had flooded, and so they were trying. We were over water at that time, trying to get the water out of the basement, and she didn't know that. There's no way she could have known that.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was
That's
really
interesting.
cool.
Yeah.
That
it was
is
so much
cool. Oh my gosh. I'm
She
still
talked
trying to get
about-
over the fact that I said Nebraska. So
Close.
She also
what are-
helped us identify a thing out at a cemetery that we were aware there was something there, but we weren't quite sure what it was. And she was like, this is a nature spirit. This is part of the Fey realm, that you got going on.
Really?
Yeah, and she was right. Yeah. Once we knew what it was, we were able to more identify it and kind of document it at that point.
Was that the thing
Wow.
that turned off the recorder?
Yes. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
It was.
nice.
It's pretty wild.
I've never, well, see, I'm when it comes to cryptids, even though Adrian is a big skeptic of a lot of things and he's seen a cryptid, I'm
Yeah.
still a little iffy about cryptids myself.
Me
Even
too, that we
Fey
eat.
folk and Fey folk and Pukwudgies and all that. Not saying they don't exist, because I've seen too many people that are too worried about them and too scared about them to say, anything that they don't exist. But I'm just saying
Don't see
that
them.
right.
Yeah.
I did. It was bad. It was bad.
See, well, where I'm going in New York, I'm bringing food offerings. So I'm going to be giving them fruit and
You are the
nummies.
food offering.
No, I'm not the food offering. That's why I'm bringing food offering. I don't want to be the food offering. So I'm going to offer them fruit, and I'm going to offer, was it squash for the Pukwudgies?
And they'll be like, I like meat. And
And
you're
like,
dead.
no meat.
Like shiny things too, like
Yes,
dimes.
squash.
They're
Yes.
Dimes.
Mhm.
I'll have to bring some dimes and put it all down, because I want to kind of have a peaceful 3 days, but I would like for them to pop in every now and then. So, it's like, hey, I'm friendly. I bring gifts. Please just show yourself a little bit, or say something, or do something.
They're coming.
Well,
They already
you-
know.
Right?
And it'll be
Yeah.
like, I like eating these sweet things. Sorry.
They're-
If
I
I
thought it
get
was funny.
bitten and I have a little bite mark on my arm somewhere, I'm blaming you, Adrian.
Yeah,
So
well,
quick-
you'll be able to do all these conventions and have that story to tell everybody. Hey,
I remember the time when yeah.
I was in
Now,
New
put-
York.
Put
So,
two
Kristi, have
dimes.
you had I know you've had some experience with the Fae. What is your suggestion? Would you agree
So-
that you know where I'm going with this?
Yeah. I think that if you give them something, they're going to expect it every single day, and they're going to potentially follow you home.
Okay, well, maybe I
you
shouldn't
see
do that.
something. just throw them some shiny things, give them some dimes, and just call it good. Don't bring them food. Because, you can if you want to, but the thing with the Fae, I'll give you an example. So when I was in my 20s, I thought it was so cool. I thought fairies were so neat. And I just, would go frolicking in the redwoods and crap, and I found a mushroom ring and I walked right through it thinking I was hot stuff. I got itchy, didn't know why, had a big rash. And when I got home, things started moving around. So this is before Google, and so I was like asking around, I was like, okay, well, what, I knew they were a Fae because I could see them. And I'm like, you're little, they're not cute. They're ugly.
Oh,
Not any sense of Fae. They're not cute little, they're like troll looking things. They're like creepy. But they could be, there's good ones and there's bad ones. You know what I mean? So, but I bought milk. And I was like, I'll just pour them a little cup of milk each day and just be like, please don't move my things. And then one day I forgot to buy milk. And when I finally did buy milk, I walked through the door and they busted the whole thing of milk on my carpet.
oh,
I mean, it was a jug of milk and you can't break it. That it tore, the seam tore.
wow.
So you have some help get rid of them. So it depends if it's like a Fae or a Jinn. I mean, it definitely depends whether what you're dealing with. But I would say never say thank you if you get anything, or if you see if they leave you something, don't say thank you. They find that offensive, that now they owe you or own you, basically. So but if you feel them, just say,
I just be mean to them?
just say, I appreciate your presence, or, hello, how are you? You can be positive about, to them, but it just feels like that so there's the Seelie and then there's the unseelie.
Right.
Is the Fae plants. And the Seelies are like brownies and things that they can be like decent energies. The unseelies are the mean little buggers and they don't like to leave. So you want to come to them with respect because they can read your energy. They are very in tune with reading energy. So you come sincerely, you just drop your dimes, you say, here you go, thank you. I'd love to connect in a healthy way and leave it
Don't
be.
follow me home. Stay here.
Yeah. So the best way to make sure that they don't follow you home is to do an egg cleanse. Have you ever heard of those? Where you take an egg and you like an egg and you roll it all over your head, your toes, and you get you can wash the egg if you want to first, if you're afraid of like any kind of parasitic stuff. And then you can either throw away the egg because it's got the energy of whatever was on you, or you can crack it into a cup and you can look at the yolk and see if there's in the white to see if there's any spots in it. It's an old legend. It's a form of sacrifice. It's a form of sacrifice in a sense. Back in the olden days when they used to talk about giving offerings to the gods or the deities or the fae, nothing can stick to you if you give it a place to go, and the egg is the place to go. So sorry, it's kind of long-winded.
No, that's very good information.
Especially since I'm going up there next week. That's the reason you were on the show this week.
Yeah. Copper in your pockets, like copper pennies, real copper pennies, or like a piece of copper, or like they don't like that at all. Iron is the same way. They don't like iron. So if you feel like you're being bothered, just bring something small with you that you might be able to, even a penny, if you feel like it's too much, if you're feeling very sick to your stomach or something, just put some pennies in your pocket.
Cool. So pennies, dimes.
Yeah.
Eggs.
While you were telling one of those stories just a moment ago, it brought back some memories of some of the German fairy tales. And I think one of them was called The Cobbler, I believe. And the same type of thing, they had I don't know if they were brownies or whatever, they'd come in and make the shoes for him. But as soon as he did something, either he didn't do something that was consistent, like you just said, or maybe he said thank you. I can't remember what the story was. It's been a long time, but things went bad for him.
I think didn't his wife make them little s- clothing or something?
Clothing or something, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
So
Oh,
something
no.
upset
And it
them, and then they
offended
got,
them.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
But it's been a
So-
long time since I read that, but that's
Yeah.
that's
A
interesting.
question for you guys.
Okay.
How many of you guys have welcome mats to say welcome?
I do not.
I do not.
Mm-mm. I will
Fellas?
not.
Spooky. I have
I have
a welcome mat that says spooky.
Okay. 'cause
Plain
if you-
plain black mat.
Okay. So if
So Adrian,
got-
get rid of your mat.
yeah,
You're the
mean-
only one that said you didn't have one.
so I worked a case a while back where I had a client who she's like, I don't know, I just keep feeling like there's things in the house, and I cleanse and I cleanse and I sage and I smudge and I do all this. I went over there and I'm like, what does this say? And she goes, welcome. I'm like, get rid of that right now, because you're welcoming anything and everything into your home. It's and there was a funny thing about on the news a long time ago where it was like a guy broke into somebody's house. I think I told you this, Pam. And it was like they said, well, why did you do it and he said, well, because it said welcome, come in, basically. So I just thought I would help myself, and he won the case.
Oh God.
I mean, he had to give everything back, but like he didn't go to jail
Yeah.
because he made a good valid point. They said, welcome, come in. So that's the same thing with any energies, things like that. You don't want to encourage those kind of things. I have a lot of folkloric history and
There's other word. I can't
That's
remember.
a-
There's
that's
other
a-
things besides just welcome on a mat too that you need to be careful of.
That's a-
Anything that may indicate an invitation.
That's
Yeah.
a really good point there. You know how they say that a vampire cannot cross unless you invite them in?
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing that a welcome mat would say free reign.
Yeah.
That's Enzo just pointed out. He saw that on
Reinfeld.
Renfield, one of the funnier parts of the movie, and now he's learning that it's
Yep.
true. Yeah, that's a funny movie. If you guys haven't seen it,
I have not seen it, but
Which
I want
one?
to see it.
you need to.
From what
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard,
pretty good.
Reinfeld.
through the
Renfield.
potential vampire community, they don't have to ask to come in anymore. So.
I heard that there's a lot of like vampire get-togethers and stuff up in the north.
They're
Like
Texas too. Oh my
really
gosh.
in Texas?
They had the vampire ball out there and stuff. Oh
Well,
yeah.
I know about the vampire ball, and I know about the vampire ball in New Orleans, but I know
Yeah.
they have like
Michelle-
conventions and stuff going on.
It's aggravating because in the movies you see a vampire, you drive a stake through their heart. But like if you do that in Dallas, you get in trouble.
You get in trouble.
Yeah, they get in trouble.
I'm like,
Plus,
really, dude was a vampire. They're like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, you don't.
Whatever.
I also heard that they
Yeah.
like garlic. It doesn't oppress them. They actually enjoy it. So yeah. Oh yeah.
We have them here too. I have a couple of friends who that's what they practice.
I'm gonna move you guys for a
Yeah,
second.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
think
tell you something.
I've eaten blood sausage, and I don't think I could handle it.
I guess
All I can think of is how much
you'll see
my what's going
above
on?
my door. I don't know if you can see it or not. I have a
Yes,
room
your
up there.
broom.
Your broom.
Is that already parked?
I flew into the door. I left it there. So, no, there's old folklore about if you do, if you put a broom above your door, then it's more Appalachian than anything else. But I study all kinds of folklore. But they say that if they call it a boo hag, but if there's anything that tries to come into your house, they have to count the bristles of the broom before they can come into your home. Kind of an OCD thing.
Wow.
Isn't
Wow.
that like to spill the salt too? Is to they have to
Or to
stop
keep
and
it-
count all the.
Yeah, or like grains of sand, like in a bucket by your door. Yeah. I'm fascinated by folklore. I think it's really interesting.
Oh, folklore is interesting. So are
It is.
myths and legends, because I believe all myth and legends have to come from something.
They have an
and-
origin
Usually
story.
a grain of truth in all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Look at
We have
Adrian.
a
Adrian's like,
question.
No pun
We have
intended.
a
on that
question
one.
in chat. Kristi, what is your favorite part of being a medium?
Helping people. I really love to help people. One of my big things that I do is I help a lot of people who are grieving, who've just lost their family members. And I get to help them get peace and be able to understand that there is something beyond death, and that there is light on the other side, and that there is healing to be had. And I don't have a lot of bad situations with people. It's really good, but I had one that really hurt my feelings a while back. And I did a reading for somebody. We did a mediumship in a basic reading. And I thought it went great. A premise, this girl bought her grandfather a reading, and her grandfather, but his daughter got murdered, and his granddaughter got murdered by the husband. And then he killed himself.
Oh,
and
God.
I made the apparent mistake of saying that, well, he's on the other side working on himself. There's a place called The Garden on the other side that's like therapy. And so he's working on himself, and that apparently it didn't go over very well. So
Oh, no.
But I mean, people, we're not perfect. And
No.
when we pass away, for everybody that I've talked to that is in spirit has said that there's no judgment on the other side at all. Regardless what you believe in, the judgment is your own, because you see everything that you've ever done to yourself and to everybody else. And you don't feel
like live your own hell.
Well, it's not necessarily a fear. It's more like a curiosity, because that human component it's just your soul. So there's no emotion to it. It's just like, oh, I didn't realize that this had this effect on this person. And then you work on yourself so that you can make better choices in your next life.
So have you ever encountered skeptics? This brought my attention because of Adrian. Skeptics or doubters of your abilities, and how did you handle those situations?
I eat skeptics for breakfast. No, I'm kidding. I do get a lot of skeptics. And I think that skeptics are just people who want to be told something that they can believe in. Because
believing a lot of people.
I mean, see, I'm skeptical in the point where it's hard for me to believe in something that I'm being told just because I'm being told. I want quantifiable evidence. When I do an X-ray on somebody, I've been a lot of people who did an X-ray on. I said, swear to God, they're broken. Looking at them, right? And then I take their picture, and they're not broken. And then it's just one of those things. So it's hard to go by what
you have a female.
I need to find something. I've always been that way, and I've
had
a lot
of female that passed on the other side.
I've got a lot of females.
Is mom passed for you?
Huh?
Is mom passed for you?
Oh yeah.
She a little lady?
A little lady?
Was she kind of like big presence, but kind of like a shorter lady?
One more time. Say that again.
Is she a shorter, but like big presence?
Yeah. I guess I would call her short, but I'm 6 foot.
Like she's short to you is what she's saying, but she's saying that you need to eat better. She's wanting you to be eating a bit healthier because you're not making the right choices for yourself.
Yeah, of course I'm not.
Hot dog, a dinner. So
yeah,
Twinkies and oranges.
Cookies and oranges.
That is a combination. Oh my gosh.
Neat.
I really don't want to see that.
Was your mom always on you for not eating right, Adrian?
You sound like you're talking through a kazoo. Is that a kazoo you got? Oh,
yeah.
No,
was she always on you for not eating right?
Oh, I always eat right. I eat nothing but vegetables and
she calls BS.
Little Debbie.
Oh, little Debbie. She calls BS.
Little Debbie. M&Ms.
Mom's calling BS.
No.
He eats his greens, the green M&Ms.
I'm a diabetic, and I eat typical diabetic fare, and all the things that I'm not supposed to eat. I'm like, that's good. And it's because I need to keep my sweetness.
Yeah.
She keeps talking about your car too. She keeps saying there's something about the back tire in your car needs more air or something. So I don't know.
Probably.
What did you do to your car, Adrian?
Nothing here recently.
No.
A bit more air, I think. And then she's talking about you're traveling soon too, right? You're going on a road trip?
Oh yeah.
She'll be with you. She wants to know. Now, are you going she keeps talking about Tennessee though. Are you headed that direction?
I'm going around the long way and I'll be coming back to Tennessee. Yeah.
Yeah, she's excited she says, to make sure that you bring lots of snacks and good snacks, healthy snacks, but that she wants you to know that she'll be with you.
Healthy snacks.
Check the water level
Cheetos.
on your car before you go.
Go water.
The water level on the car.
And
Oh, check the water in the car.
Yes.
Yeah. So take that as you will. It could be random things that I don't know you that well. So, I mean, take that as you will. I love skeptics. So.
I've been, I tell you, here's my thing with people who have, I don't want to get real deep here, and this is your show now.
Well,
but,
you can get deep. Go for it. It's our show.
Because I know a lot of people have abilities, and there's one that I know without a doubt that she's got something going on, that she knows things, she can pick things out really good, and I've seen her do things that just blow my mind. I have no way. And if I'm never going to believe anybody, going to believe her. Well, I had a rather negative attachment, really nasty thing, and it was with me for years. And I walked among all these people, and not anybody said a word to me. So that leads me to think 3 conclusions. 1, they don't pick up on it. 2, the entities on the other side have enough power to be able to block your abilities. Or 3, they just didn't care enough to tell me. So what's the deal?
There's a 4th option too. There's a 4th option too. If there's an entity attached to you, it could absorb within you and be a part of your aura.
See, I've been told I have so many different colors of aura. I don't know what color I am, and I'm colorblind, so that really confuses me. I will know that the first person that I ever encountered that was supposedly a witch was at right after I got out of the military. I was going to go and do some hypnotherapy. And I tried to do hypnotherapy. It didn't work, but I understood the gig. And I said, hey, man, I can do this. And I could do the soft voice and had the music playing. So I went to go look up some new age music. And I went into the store in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on Central Avenue. And I walked in there and I go straight to the CD rack because I knew what I'm looking for. And I'm going through that. And the lady behind the counter turned around, saw me, and then she just plumb freaked out and ran out. Right? Not out of the building, into the back. And then there's some kind of commotion going on in the back. Another lady come out and she looked at me and said, sir, I need you to leave. I'm like, well, I just wanted to buy a CD. I haven't done anything. She's like, no, I need you to leave right now. I'm not going to tell you anything. I said, why is that? She told me then I had no aura. And I thought that was kind of refreshing because usually people tell me, oh, look, you got a nice, bright, pretty aura.
Well, that's freaky.
So I based all my skepticism on my past and actual things I've experienced. So that's why it's kind of weird.
So did you get rid of it?
Huh?
Did you get rid of it?
Did I get rid of it?
Mm-hmm.
The attachment?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't see anything on you.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
So what Kristi just said about it being absorbed into you and affecting your aura, you had no aura because of it.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means.
Interesting.
That means you were basically a walking zombie.
Yeah, it was feeding on you, and your aura, it could change the color of the aura at will, because when you have an attachment, it basically eats your energy, but it can also, if you have a lot of pain in a certain area, like your stomach or your back, that's the feeding point.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's nothing to mess with.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have another question in chat too. Kristi, do skeptics ever tell you that you've made them a believer after a session?
Yeah, I've had a couple. I've had some that are just they just refuse to believe, and that's I can blatantly say, this is your mother. She says that your sister's name is Joan and that you have a Dalmatian, and yeah, but I don't believe you. Then how? But I've had a lot of people who have been very much, especially the mediumship stuff. I don't get a lot of skeptics in the psychic stuff because if they don't want to know, they don't want to come.
Mm-hmm.
But mediumship, it's like, oh, well, we'll see what this is about. And then when I bring forward their family, and there's a couple different ways that you can do mediumship. You could say, who would you like to bring forward? And that's kind of the cheating way. And I don't do that. I say, okay, well, whoever wants to come in to talk to this person, come in. And then we fill the room with people. And I'm like, okay, so the first person is a male. He's standing, because when spirits come in to communicate, they stand, like if it's your parents, they stand next to you. If it's your grandparents, they stand behind them. If it's an uncle, it stands behind, so there's an order. So I'm like, this is like an uncle. They were military. They did this, that, and the other. So I get a lot of people who are Reformed skeptics, and it's really refreshing. It's kind of a challenge sometimes. I'm like, I got another one, but but yeah, absolutely. I welcome all thoughts and all, as long as it's positive in the sense of like, I am a skeptic, but I do want to learn. If it's a closed-minded skeptic, I'll be like, you know what, you're here to try to prove me wrong, and
Yep.
I'll take your money, but it'll waste your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had people before who also in the same kind of vein as skeptics who I don't connect with. I get asked that a lot too. Is like, do you have people that you just don't connect with in readings? And the answer is yes. I've only had about 6 through my whole career, and predominantly it's not my clientele. It's when I go places. Like I went to Salem to 2 Octobers to work the Festival of the Dead in Salem,
nice.
Mass. And it was nice. And I had one lady who, she had been through 2 other psychics. It was the second year, 2015. And they hire people off of Craigslist. Basically, they're just like, oh, are you a psychic? Okay, cool. Whereas I had to interview the year before. So this lady went through 2 psychics, and then she came to me, and I told her things that were true. But she was just like, I'm not going to pay for this because I had to go through 2 people to get to you. So I'm not going to pay for it. So
Well,
therefore,
that's
I'm
not
going
your
to say,
fault.
right. I still got paid though, because they wouldn't give her a refund because you go through 2 psychics, and
Yeah.
and then
I mean,
the
you
other
make
time
that
was,
choice.
yeah. And
Wow.
predominantly it's the people who, it's predominantly older people who are very set in their religion. And I've been called a Satan worshiper before. I've been called a witch.
Nah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that. People do that. I'm a Christian, but yeah, I know everybody's got their own walk they need to walk. But I hate it when people try to go laying judgment on other people.
Yeah.
Not up to us to judge. So
No.
It doesn't fly with me. I'm just like, call me what you want, but I mean, sticks and stones, but I'm still getting paid. So
Right. Well, can you? Go ahead.
There's a lot of people too that come to, for a reading, and they want to hear a certain answer. And if they don't get it, they're going to say, oh, you're just full of crap. And that's going to move on to the next person until they finally get
what they want to hear.
For. Exactly.
That does happen. But I have a caveat. I'm like, look, here's the deal. When you come in for, especially mediumship, if you have something that you want said, I will only tell you what your family wants you to know. And they may not care that, your dog's name is Elmo, or that great grandma smoked, Newports. They want you to know that you've got some health concerns that they're worried about for you, and that you need to take better care of yourself. And so that's kind of how I work around it, because I'm not a mind reader. I'm not. Like, people expect psychics to be mind readers, and we're not. That's not how it works. But
well, that's a different ability.
So what?
I can't do that. I don't think I'd want to do that.
I wouldn't want to do that either.
So what would your definition then of psychic be compared to mediumship? Mediumship is basically communicating directly with the spirits.
Correct.
What is actually the psychic part then?
Right. So psychic is basically being able to see into a person's future. I do what I call life map readings predominantly. I have over 30 services on my website, but I do with every new person, I usually do a life mapping, and we cover your self-love, how you feel about yourself, your romantic love, your work, your health, your finances, any roadblocks that are from past life, present life, and any challenges that you may kind of encompass in that you're going through right now. And so it's pretty awesome. I used to really get in my own way because when I was younger in my 20s, I would always want to please people, and that shit doesn't fly. Like if you try to please people, you're not going to be doing your job properly. And I'm, so
Good point.
I have learned that, I just have to shut my brain off and just, when I read, I don't read. It's things just fall out of my mouth. I have no filter, which can be a good thing, but also sometimes, I flip some F-bombs here and there. People are like, oh, like, so sorry. People sometimes the spirits tend to, they just tend to say what they say. And I'm like, okay. Or, their spirit guides tend to, push that direction. So if anybody else is interested in my services, my website is kindredinsights.com. So
one more time, Kindred.
Kindredinsights.com.
KINDREDINSIGHTS.com. I got YouTube, and also I have a podcast called Kindred Insights too. So
Sean the Geek, thank you for popping in. Go ahead.
Kristi does this great thing on Facebook where every once in a while she'll do an evening of like just fly readings, on the fly readings and stuff. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we have our fun Fridays. We didn't do it last Friday because like my air conditioner broke and my garage broke and everything was broken, and I was stressed out and I was in tears. But yeah,
I would be too.
Yes, but so we do different things. Like we do psychic readings, we do mediumship messages. We go for about an hour to 2 hours every Friday around 7 Central. And I haven't opened it up to the public yet because I used to get a lot of people who are trying to sell people things, and I felt like that wasn't a safe space for people. So I try to just do it with my friends. But I am going to be opening it up in a couple of weeks to everybody that wants to do it. I'm just going to have moderators on standby to block. But
good idea.
We've done things like what your name says about you, what your zodiac says about you. I used to do horoscopes too, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of people get involved, and it's really interesting. You get a lot of healing. I do quantum on there sometimes as well. So it's just whatever. I usually throw up a poll. I'm like, what do y'all want to do? And they choose, so.
We have another question too. Sorry. When you're out in public and sense something heavy on a passerby, do you feel compelled to tell them about it?
Yes, but I don't, unless it's important for them to know. So, the one negative thing about my job is that if somebody is close to death, I can see it in their aura, and it scares the ever-loving crap out of me. And I'm not that person that's like, hey, maybe you should go to the doctor, unless it's a client of mine and I see something and I'm like, hey, you know what, maybe you should go get a checkup in this area of your body just to kind of be safe, just I keep it light. But yes, whenever I'm out. So another funny story. So when I lived in California, we went to Starbucks, and this girl that was at the window, we went through the drive-through, mind you, and this woman kept tell her she's pregnant and she needs to stop drinking caffeine and whatever. And I'm like, what? Spirits can be very, very, very pushy. Like literally, I can feel sick sometimes if they're trying to push me too much. They push into my aura, and I feel like I'm gonna vomit. So we went up to the window, and I was with my friend Shauna, funnily enough, and the best friend Shauna in California. And so I'm like, excuse me, I said, I don't want to, I hate to do this. And she's like, what's that? Is there something wrong with your drink? I'm like, no. I said, you've got a female who's passed on who is saying that you're pregnant and you need to watch your caffeine intake. She's like, no, I'm not pregnant. I'm like, okay, have a nice day. Thank you. Go back a year later, because I go home to visit sometimes, and we went through the same Starbucks, and she's like, you think that lady's gonna be there? I'm like, I hope not. If not, she's probably gonna spit in my drink or something. We go back, and she's like, can you come inside? And I'm like, oh, she's gonna beat my, We go inside, and she comes out, she's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, I had a baby. 2 months ago. And I was like, what? So she's like, you told me and you warned me. And she was like, I was doing other things that I wasn't supposed to do as well. Like I was smoking a little green. So she's like, I stopped the day you
I
told me.
impregnated you with my mind.
Like, I am your father. We calmed our drinks. She gave us snacks. She was like, I became the manager and like, come back anytime. So whenever I'd go to California, we go through Starbucks. She's like, your money's no good here. I'm like, so she goes,
Nice.
you don't think I'm not pregnant again, am I? I'm like, no, girl, you're fine. I love the funny ones, but the weird ones are not. I'm just like, yeah, I get pulled everywhere I go. It's if y'all ever seen like Teresa Caputo, she was just here in Tulsa, she does the whole like confrontation. I'm a very non-confrontational person. Like if you come up to me, you better have a good reason to it. And like, I'm not going to be like, excuse me, Shauna, I have a message from your great grandmother and she wants you to know that you're going to get a ticket in 5 minutes if you don't pull out of your parallel park place. It's just things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel comfortable with it unless it's something that can help save their lives.
Right.
And there was one time, I feel like I'm hogging the show. I'm so sorry.
No, that's your show.
This is your show. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I lived in this little apartment in San Francisco, and this girl, she looked really lonely. Her energy was just so lonely, and she worked at the cafe on the corner. And so I go in to have breakfast every now and again. I was working at this blind school called Orientation Center for the Blind, and we call it Ouch Crash Bang Blind School.
Ouch Crash Bang.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. Great sense of humor.
Yeah. So I went up to her, and there was this older man. It was like her great grandpa, and he kept saying, she hates me because I abused her, but you need to not tell her that it's me and tell her that she needs to take a different route home tonight because there's a man that's watching her. And I'm like, okay. Ooh. So when she came to bring me my check, I said, can you sit down for a minute? She's like, I guess. I'm like, we live in the same building. She was like, yeah. I said, so listen, you need to take a different route home tonight. There's somebody watching you. She stood up. She's like, what? And I said, there's a spirit that told me this. I'm a medium. Just don't hate me. She's like, I said, just, even if you don't believe me, just take a different route home. And she did. And she found out that somebody had been in her apartment, like all this crazy stuff. So she's like, thank you so much for telling me that, because it was her ex-boyfriend who was stalking her, and he got arrested later that night. And he had a gun on him, so I don't know what he's going to do to her. So I was like,
oh my gosh.
I always get chills. I'm like, oh my gosh,
right? I got him right now.
Yeah. That happens all the time. And I love it, but I hate it because there's certain things like, and they want people to know like the littlest things, like, oh, maybe you should eat that hot dog because you might, get really bad gas and during your job interview. And I'm like, it's helpful, but it's not really like, it's their choice to eat it or not to eat it. You know what I mean?
Right, that would be my love.
Am I going to win the Mega Man tonight?
Don't eat that chili.
Don't eat that chili before you get in that car and drive for 18 and a half hours.
No, don't eat that chili when you're at the Hinsdale house, because oh boy, Angel Veo, look out. No.
Hey, Kristi, when you're giving a message to somebody, I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
Just say it.
Well, I know, but do you actually know what you're saying? Do you hear yourself saying it? Do you remember what you're saying sometimes?
Not at all. No, it's literally just another channel. Yeah.
I mean, I'm nowhere near your level, but I've had some experiences like that. And after the session, I have no clue what I've even told these people unless I record it.
Right. Yeah.
What, do you just allow them in? Or do they?
It's more so like, it's like I'm a tape recorder spewing back messages that were like on a tape. So it's like, it's me saying it, but I have control of my whole body, but it's more so like, it's a mental thing. It's like in my brain is going to my mouth, it's going out. So you know,
Gotcha.
I'm present. I'm not like channeling where I'm like unconscious, but it's almost like it's just it's
You're
open
not-
and yeah.
Yeah, you're
So-
not talking, but somebody else is.
No, it's somebody else. I have had
Right.
clients who had full conversations with a dead person, and I'm like yelling at them, and they're yelling at me, and it's very awkward for me. I had a
Wow.
client whose boyfriend passed away, and he told her some things about that he had cheated on her, and she got really upset. She's like, "You're a SOB," and he's like, "Well, you're not perfect either. There's sunshine. You know, you didn't get me help when I passed away," and all that. I'm like, "Holy crap!" So
Wow.
you know, yeah. But when I don't remember anything after the event until if I see a client again, they're like, "Oh, remember you talked about this and this," and I'm like, "Not really."
Mm.
But if I
Yeah.
see them often enough, I'm like, "Oh yeah, you have this." I have an inkling because it's like I get like the Cliff's notes, and I'm like,
Mhm.
"Okay, so you have this situation going on, or you have that." But like if I don't talk to them in a year, like that's gone. Like it's gone.
Wow.
And
That
I
is
usually
interesting.
see my clients
I was
every
just-
3 to 6 months.
I was just trying to see if that was actually normal. Because like I said,
is.
I am nowhere near your level at all, but I have had
You've
some.
got abilities though, my friend.
What's that?
Absolutely. You have abilities though. You've got a lot of empathic abilities, I can tell.
Thank you. I do both sides of the fence. Doesn't matter if they're alive or dead.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
I've had people come to me and never even met them before.
Like
You're
come to
magic.
you for like spirits or
Mhm.
It's happened a
Oh.
couple times. It's a whole story. I'd tell you sometime,
Yeah.
maybe in a few weeks.
Maybe. Ah. Well, I'd hate to cut this short because we're having such a great conversation, but it is a little over the time. So
Okay.
we're
We'll
just
have to do
gonna
it
have to have you
again.
back. Yeah, we're just gonna have to
Yeah.
have you
Love that.
back.
Absolutely.
Maybe the next time I'm on, we can get you back because
Yeah,
I don't
I'd love-
have anybody else that I have planned. So
I will be
I
standing-
don't have anybody.
I will
wow.
be your buddy.
Okay. I'm so
Playing the little
ready.
violins.
As busy as I get so busy because I have my other podcasts and then I have all these conventions and stuff coming up, and I'm still in the process of doing my website, and I'm busy. I'm a one-man band here, so
Right?
Yeah, she came on tonight and hadn't even shaved yet.
I know, right? And then by the magic of entertainment,
Filters.
it was gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
funny.
we will have to
thank
get
you
you
guys.
back. It was awesome. And what is your website again?
It's kindredinsights.com. KINDREDINSIGHTS.com. And you can find me on YouTube and on TikTok as well.
Awesome.
And
All right.
Kristi will be at Bordertown Paracon September
Paracon.
30th.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know, I'm excited.
It'd be great to actually meet you face to face.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. Absolutely.
Next
And-
week we might
sorry.
have to go ahead.
Great. I was like, Kristi, don't go away after
Yeah.
Okay.
we
I'll hang
finish
out.
here. Okay.
Next week we might have to postpone Pam or something because I'm not gonna be here, and I usually produce
Is
the
she
show.
is she the glue that holds us all together?
I am
Right?
so sorry. We were gonna do a pre-show, but I was told that internet is kind of wonky where I'm gonna be at. I mean, I'm gonna have a cellular, expander, but I don't know how well it's gonna be. So if we could like just postpone it out a week and see if you're okay, awesome,
Yeah.
perfect. Then we can
Okay.
do that. Just don't expect a show next week, you guys, but expect one the week after. So you better get your butts there the next week after. Because we will then have we will have the show the following week. As it is, I'm gonna be in New York. I'm gonna have a blast, but I do apologize, y'all. I'm sorry. I know that tears everything. I'm just gonna have to teach you guys. I'm gonna have to teach you guys how to do everything. That way, if I'm not here, y'all can just do it. Y'all don't need
Yeah,
me.
for
Do
sure.
it.
But I like the fact
Do
that y'all need me because it makes me feel great.
Well, to expound on what Adrian just said a moment ago, see, you're the glue that makes it all okay.
Oh,
See what
that
you did
was
there.
awesome.
Stuck up.
Somebody's got to do it.
I mean, not.
Thank
Hey,
you,
everybody.
Pam, for getting that flyer together for this week. It was awesome, and for sharing it out to everybody. Adrian, thank you for being you. Ken, thank you for being you. Chrissy,
The
thank
weird
you
guy.
so much for being on. It was awesome.
Thank you so much. It was an
Thank you
honor.
guys for watching. See you guys next time.
Bye.
I
Night,
say bye,
everybody.
but I'm not even on the sheet yet. Where
Now
we
I say
at?
bye.
Okay, bye, y'all.
Bye again.